I guess if you're following the internet and on social media, there's a lot of noise going on around Arsenal winning the Community Shield. Basically, have no significance. But I think this game had a lot of in is had a lot of significance, and it will have a lot of influence for the rest of the season. Why? Because Pep was really invested into this game, because there's a lot of pressure on him, not in terms of any expectation. See, when you are a treble winner, you have done it all. You don't have to prove anything, but being on the number one, it's not easy to maintain, and you don't want to leave it because the joy and the excitement that comes with it, you want to keep it as long as you want. It's just in human nature. So Pep was doing the same thing, and he doesn't want to lose to, especially Arsenal, because Arsenal was not easy last season. So so it was a good win for Arsenal in terms of course, a silver and everything, but in terms of psychologically, it was a battle, and they had to win against City for the future and the rest of the season. So I had written down some things that I want to talk about. That the biggest problem, in my opinion, that I saw was there was no possession for the first 25 minutes. Although it's debatable that you don't have to keep the possession in order to win the game. It's fine. But when you are trying to get ball away from your opponent, you have to do a good job. And I think Arsenal was trying to press a lot, like high high press, but City managed to not give away for 25 minutes, and that does a lot to you mentally. And I started to see that in the last 5 minutes of that 25 minutes, Arsenal started to choke, and that's when City started to come into the box and putting pressure. Although there was not a lot of shots on goal or like really dangerous shots, but it was gaining momentum, and they were coming to that point. And then, yeah, after 25 minutes, Arsenal did switch gears and then started getting a lot of possession. Okay, so Chaka is gone, and in the last season, he was very influential in terms of like link up play and moving the ball from the center to all the way to the final third. So far, I haven't seen anyone doing that today. I mean, they were relying on Saka, but Saka does not like that. Saka needs a lot of space in order to to progress the ball into the final third, because he's on the wing, like on a winger position. He loves space. So there was a lack of like that confidence that Chaka had. I mean, Odegaard was trying his best to do that, but he has to like get used to new players with him, and that's where I think Declan Rice was okay. But he, like, if you look at the heat map, he does not have a lot of possession, and he did not pass the ball as much as, let's say, compared to the new signing for City, Kovacic. So I mean, he has to do a lot in terms of that. I mean, the biggest thing that Rice brings to the team is that his winning mindset. Although it's not like a winning in terms of like they won Champions League or a title, but they did win something, and it takes a lot of mental discipline to achieve any win, like competition, and like when it comes to like finals, it's a different ball game. So he has that mindset, and he's mentally strong, he's physically strong, and he has lots of pace, and he can I don't want to use the word like he can scare off the opponent, but he's it's not easy to he's very athletic. It's not easy to play against him. So I mean, he has to get better in that regard. And the other thing is that Kai Havertz missing his chances. It was is not okay. I mean, he tried his best, but he he has to be the number nine. I don't know. He wasn't being playing number nine, sort of, but he has to be able to finish swiftly and like without doing a lot of touches. I mean, I can see Saka being very helpful for him on the side because Saka. So there, this is the big difference. Kai Havertz will have playing for Arsenal versus Chelsea. In Chelsea, a lot of balls used to come in from the right side because right side for Chelsea was stronger than their left side. But in Arsenal, Martinelli did not deliver as much as he can, but we saw Saka delivered some good balls inside. So he has to get used to his right side or right foot, like ball coming from his right side versus his left side. So it's going to take him some time. Arsenal could have been 2 up halftime, but they didn't. So yeah, that's where Kai Havertz has to do better. And then Party is Thomas Party is a kind of a player he can read the game, but sometimes he like especially one of his press on Phil Foden where when the goal was scored was not calculated. Like he should have known that he wants to press, but he's going to be out of his position, which he was, and he couldn't run back, and there's a lot of space, like wide open space for Phil Foden to just run and pass the ball, and he gets complacent. Like he plays well, but there are a few moments in the game. Then I mean, he's a center midfielder. He has to run a lot. He has to go up. He has to go come back. He has to go up and read the game. It's a lot of work, and I think he has to be mentally very strong. I mean, he's the kind of a person. If you look at his interviews, he's very friendly. He's very shy, but I think it plays into his psychology of how his mindset can be. So so I think he has to do better on that like front. He has to be mentally aggressive and physically aggressive at the same time. I mean, the fouls he commits is not like he's not like there's no vibe that comes out of him like he's like aggressive. He's not. He does not have a Casemiro vibe. But yeah, that's on Thomas Party, and and to close it off, City does not care about losing this game, but they do at the same time. As I've mentioned before, it's like it's not. It's going to be about keeping the title and the number one spot. It does not come easy, and Erling Haaland. I mean, he was frustrated because he couldn't touch the ball. That also explains that the back line of Arsenal was really good, and they have to keep this mindset for a long time for the rest of the season. But yeah, that I think it was a good start. The first game City is playing is against Burnley, which is going to be very interesting because it's company who used to play for City, and he knows our Pep Guardiola in and out as well. So yeah, like that's my take on it, and I think it was exciting, and I wasn't expecting it to go to penalties, and yeah, penalties. Arsenal was like sharp, and placement was nice and correct, and professional and perfect. Uh, but City crumbled because the first penalty. I think it was just bad luck. Hit the post. It was very well struck, but it happens. But the end of the day, Arsenal won the game, and Arsenal got the boost needed. And that's my take on the game. And I will talk to you later.